kind of a long way to say this, right? But think about that. Why would you waste all of your parents' time and effort and love to go hate on people? They put in their all for you, and maybe they didn't. Maybe you've had a shitty, a shitty family. You've had a shitty life, right? And yes, that sucks. But do you really want to be closer to that than you already are? If you had a bad upbringing, I'm sorry. That is terrible. Nobody deserves to have something along those lines, right? But what would lead you to doing something hateful as well? Don't use things as an excuse. There is no excuse for being a hateful person. There is no excuse for taking violent action, if not needed, obviously. There's no use in comparing people. But people still do it because they feel that there's, especially on social media, that there's a sense of people relating to each other and giving, just handing off, likes and relevancy and stuff like that by hating. Your family might not, have been the best, right? And whether you believe in God, whether you don't believe in God, whoever you believe in, right? Whatever you believe in. No matter what, you were put here to live life and enjoy it, because we're not here forever. And I say that because some people take it too far, to the point where they get too hateful. And they tell somebody to do this, right? And then that person isn't around anymore because of what this person said. And some people might say, oh, I'm not afraid to die. Like, it's just life. It just happens. What about those people around you? And think to yourself again, are you really not afraid to die? I was depressed at one point in my life, right? But then I came to realize afterwards, did I really want to die? Am I not scared, at least? Even in the moment, even when it was in the midst of everything, was I not scared? Right? It's something that just never really leaves. Unless you're just one in a million people that have had it way too rough. Nobody deserves that, but a lot of people still have that passion to live, or at least are scared to live, or scared to die. So use that, if anything. Use that fear of death as a way to live. Use that as an excuse, like people use their bad upbringings as an excuse to hate. Use that as an excuse to live, right? And I know this might have went from a talk to talking about comparison and comparing one another. But you see where that goes? You see how these things relate to each other? You know why it went from that to that? Was because comparison then turns into hate, then turns into worse hate, then turns into worse hate, then turns into somebody's life flashing before our eyes. The more hate that you give, the more hateful you'll get, and there's no going back from it. Once you feel that sadness and that emptiness from really hurting somebody, there's no going back from it, and you're going to feel guilty for the rest of your life. That is never the right answer. Right? No matter what, I see those comments all the time. And I haven't say, it hurts, and I haven't gotten used to it. I'm a 19-year-old kid. I'm not even, I still have teen in my age. Right? I'm not, I'm talked to a lot of, walked on the street, there's high schoolers that are older than me still. I meet somebody, they're like, oh, yeah. How old are you? I'm like, I'm 19. Oh, I'm 19 too. I was like, oh, you graduate 2 years ago? They're like, no, I'm a senior. I'm like, how the fuck does that work? It's like, but the thing is like, I feel like I'm fucking 40 years old because of all this shit that I've had to go through, all the mental stress that I've been put through. But you see how I didn't let it get to my head and be hateful and dislike everybody? It's because I think about, sure, I didn't have certain things good, right? But I also had things go good in my life. And why would I waste those good things that happened to me? What would I rather pass on? Those bad things that have happened to me, that hate that I built up, right? Or would I rather pass on the good that has came into my life? Would I rather see people happy, or would I rather see people sulking and walking around with their heads down? A lot of you people get to pick. A lot of you people get to pick how you see your favorite influencer walk around. Because a lot of those people don't have the mental capacity to control it. To control themselves from becoming a massive hate of sadness. A lot of people don't have that self-control, especially when half these influencers are at such a young age. And you guys control that. You have more power than the influencers themselves, and yet you're tearing them down. And you're making them turn against themselves. They can be the smallest thing. It could be the smallest thing that will set somebody off. And then you find, let's say you find out about that, right? That it was your doing that set them off. You're going to feel bad, right? Well, I hope you do. Because if you didn't, then I don't know what to tell you. You're really just not, you're not a good person. And nobody should feel bad for you for that. Nobody should feel bad about the guilt that has consumed you, right? Because you hurt this person. Sure, yeah, it's over the internet. You don't show your face. It's because you're scared. You're scared of being hated on, yet you're hating on other people. And you're tearing them down. I could just be scrolling through my comments and see one. I could see one. And that can tear me down. And it could be yours. And that makes the whole day go from here to here. And a lot of you have control over influencers' emotions in a way. It's like you're in these influencers' heads and people are telling them how to feel. You're controlling them. You see, there's people that post themselves, you know, maybe they're confident in their skin, right? They're confident in their body. Videos of them in a bikini or them with their shirt off. Oh my God, this guy's so cocky. He's so fucking annoying. And then that guy has body dysmorphia, right? He hated how he looked when he was 13. He deserves to be confident. And it's not cockiness, it's confidence. And you're tearing him down for something that he struggled so hard to get out of. He or she struggled so hard to get out of. Don't you feel terrible? A lot of you guys need to realize that you have control over so much. More than you think. Yeah, I could hop on Twitter right now and tweet out